get ready, sorted. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Sunday shop, do 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 do. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, greeting, salutation, Yella. Oh, Yella is out and about doing some shopifying. I wondered why the back garden was a bit quiet. Never mind. Sure, other people's will turn up at some point. We just let people come in, turn up, and say hello. I think I've managed to get all the notifications out of the way, so they should be popping up all the stream long. Yes, hay fever time. So, joy. Want to claw my eyes out. I can't breathe. But other than that, all good. Howdy, Bruiser. And lurk and commentate when possible. Thank you, Yella. So, I hope people have had good weeks. All safe and Fishy's doing fishy things. Ghosty's doing ghosty things. Hair doing hairy things. Yes, the usual that's going on around here. Yeah. Adjust the camera position slightly. There we go. More fishies on the show. Oh my god, we have some life in the stream. Yay! There's not a lot of that around here. There's a whole bunch of police and helicopters and all sorts going on down roundabout just down the road from me yesterday while I was at work. And it turns out they found a corpseified person in the woods. Funny enough, quite near where I film occasionally. And yes, somewhere that's already haunted. Bruiser's making meatloaf. So yes, so I'm guessing life is Rachel. Hello, Rachel. As a first introduction, being me talking about dead people, it's not always quite that dark. It does sometimes get a bit lighter. Now, we have fish. Oh, howdy, Andrew. Yeah, got life stuff happening. You just don't have real friends. That's the way to sort these things out. If you don't have real friends, then they don't visit. Rachel or rah-rah for short. Like the skirt. The rah-rah skirt before that gets taken the wrong way by somebody. Yes, I'm guessing someone's probably warned you about my sense of humour before you came here. Yes, a bit irreverent, but there we go. Fishing news, what's been going on this week? Well, the video that I put up obviously is the main thing that happened this week. And that we've had the Nanakara Anomalets. Be family then, that's even worse than friends. Yeah. So yes, they bred. We had eggies. Eggies go bye-bye, unfortunately, but that's the way of things with dwarf cichlids. They do tend to eat their first few batches. But at least now we know exactly what numbers they need water-wise to do the breedy. Not quite as soft as I was thinking either. So hopefully give it another few weeks, we'll get another batch of eggs and then we might get wrigglers. and then they'll probably get eaten. And then a few weeks after that, maybe a month, we'll get another batch. Might get free swimming fry, and then they might get eaten. And then, yeah, such is the way of the world. They eventually get it right. I wouldn't say I've got a good sense of humour. Yeah, see you later, Andrew. Yeah, commiserations, my friend. But now, once the parents aren't eating the fry, there's nothing in that tank that would eat them anyway. They're sharing with snails and clown plecos. So, and golden white cloud and ember tetra leftovers. Just refuse to die, basically. Very old for the species they are, so they just keep going. So, well, we'll put you in there, see what happens. And they just keep going and going and going. We also, as we had last week, a bunch more baby limia in there as well. So, yeah, the same old troubles. Too many bristle noses, too many limia. But what can you do? Yeah, what else? I had something else in my mind, and it's completely gone now. Is it the concussions, or is it the alcoholism in the past? All the pharmaceuticals. One of the three, if not all three. Or we could just go with age. Fish tank, red tail shark, plex, mollies, I make like crazy. Grey with 2 black lines and a black spot. Pass. Could have been a butterfly cichlid. Could have been a gourami. All sorts. Random tetra. The mollies do breed like crazy. That's the limia in there. They're live bearers, so sort of related. These ones are the wild types. So, I mean, you'd think with a couple of large electric blue acara in there that some of the fry would get eaten, but they don't. I've got an extra male epistogramma that I'll pop in there. You'll probably clear a bunch of them out. Yeah, we started out with 3 limia, probably well over 100 at the moment. I've sold a bunch already, so can't really complain. Get more money for those than I would for mollies or guppies or platies or orange and black clown loach, I'm guessing, in that case. Most likely. Is he or a tiger barb? Oh, it's Hamperton back, the mad mower. Oh dear. Oh, get angry about some racing cars. Is there Grand Prix this weekend? Or NASCAR? IndyCar, perhaps? I can't remember. The only one I generally watch these days is the World Endurance Championship. Actually entertaining. Formula One is getting, to me at least, I'll cut your grass. Well, if you're ever over here, Tom, I mean, you might need a bit more than a mower. You probably need a machete and a chainsaw. You know, the offer's there. Oh dear. Don't work too hard, my friend. This is never worth it. Clown loach. So black and orange usually is either clown loach or tiger barb. Go for it. You can scalp my garden any day. Oh dear. There ain't no daisies in there, and there's plenty of brambles and nettles and ivy. Probably the odd sycamore tree that's not supposed to be there, and then the plants that are supposed to be there. And a few shrubs. I think that's about it. Oh, there's a massive phormium as well, and soon to be a spearmint going in one of the pots. And at some point this week, I will plant the courgette seeds for this summer, or zucchini seeds for my American friends, for this summer's crop of food for these guys. I don't eat them; they're not edible for humans. Yeah, I just feed them to the fish. It's the same with most vegetables, to be honest. And it's cheaper to grow your own than it is to keep buying them. And the amount of pleco food I go through is ludicrous. Well, I started that sack a couple of weeks ago. It's ludicrous, really. But that's what happens when you've got 1,000 plecos. Ish, somewhere around there. I lose count of how many I've actually got. We'll probably due calling up again soon to see if they need any more. It's on remembering the names. There's lots of people who forget what fish they've got. I tend not to forget them because I can't remember the name. I just forget I've got them. But my memory's really bad, so there we go. So we've got Paliatus cories, Albino Aenus cories, Limia perugiae, bristlenose plecos, an electric blue Icara. I think that's about it in there. Yeah, because and there's some black neons as well. But see, I forget. Mr. Moist Hose. Evening, Al. How are you doing? Yeah, as I say, I forget. I say the Dwarf Neon Rainbow. I haven't seen it for a while, so I'm guessing it's a X Dwarf Neon Rainbow by now. Only cut the grass a week ago. It needs cutting again. Yeah, mine needs doing. I just haven't got around to it. It's that time of year, unfortunately, in this part of the UK at least. Oh, we've all frozen up. What's going on? There we go. I am in Norfolk, UK. Hello, Debs. Yeah, it's that time of year where everything's growing really nicely because it's starting to warm up and get brighter and sunnier, but we still get a lot of rain. Give it a couple of months, we'll probably be in a drought and everything will die again. Which I don't mind if the grass goes all brown and crunchy. I can deal with that. Then it doesn't need cutting. It'll just be the rest of it I need to hack back then. Get out there with the power tools and obliterate a bunch of brambles and might even get to the pond. Al, snow just started melting here. A little further north than me, Al. Geckos are cool. I know plenty of people with geckos. Something it's on the list of things I might want to try, along with saltwater tanks. But I'm a bit of a weird keeper in that I want to breed things. Basically making the hobby pay for itself. By this point, YouTube has paid for what I've bought cameras and things like that. YouTube has paid for itself now. So that's technically running at a profit unless anything breaks down. Touch wood, it doesn't. I'm basically trying to run all my fish tanks at a profit. And the only one that doesn't at the moment is the one with the Nanakara and Nomala in it, which are the ones that just started breeding. So hopefully they will, and then all my tanks will be making me money. And then you never know, I might have to do less work. Yes, before anyone says you don't do any bloody work anyway, Sharpe, I know. I do have a job, I just try not to do any more than I have to. I'm just copying my co-workers' examples. But at least I get paid more than minimum wage, so that's always a bonus. I said Nanakara, yes, Yellow's getting drunk today. The air-cooled mower seat feels like I'm sitting on a servicing. Oh, I feel your pain, Tom. As a former forklift driver, which you've got a very similar seat, and you're also sitting on top of the engine. Yes, on hot days, that's really not a pleasant experience. You get swamp butt. Your cheeks turn into roasted hams. Rachel, no, Norfolk was in Essex and London, now live in Dorset. Oh, bless. Dorset's a nice part of the country. About as far away from Norfolk as you can get almost, but you know. I'm originally Hertfordshire, so I know Essex as well. Oh, pardon me. Which is why my accent isn't pure Norfolk. I've got a mutt accent, but there we go. Some days it gets a bit more Norfolk. Some days it gets a bit more Hertfordshire. Some days I try to speak perceived English, where you actually pronounce every letter. Some people do get a bit snotty when you start dropping T's and H's out of their names at work. But it's just one of those things. And the other good thing about Norfolk, no hills. You turn the lights off at night time. Yeah, all the lights all go out before I go to bed. Usually somewhere around about 10:30, I turn all the fish tank lights out. Usually around 11 or, yeah, around about midday normally I'll turn them on. These ones behind me are all automatic timers, so they'll switch themselves off. The rest are manual click buttons. So, and I can't do the sneaky thing of using timer plugs, turn them on and off. Because 3 of them are Fluval flexes, and if you turn them off and turn them back on again, they'll come up with some random color. And the other 2, the lights run off the same power brick as the filters. Well, actually, one of them doesn't, because one of them's got a canister. But the other one, yeah. And I haven't got a spare socket anyway. Gunplane got a pay rise. Yeah, we did as well. We got one Christmas and one 1st of April, which is a bonus. And for some reason, I've got way more holiday this year than I was expecting. So works out basically I've got 7 weeks holiday this year, all paid, American friends, and I have to take it. It's countryside everywhere. Yeah. I mean, I'm in the middle of a decent sized town for this part of the country, and if I walk 3/4 of a mile in any direction, I'll be out in the middle of nowhere. Great. Got a London accent, and the kids have got carrot crunch. As long as they don't start singing Wurzel's songs, you're okay. That is the thing about the UK is that, that some Americans can't get their heads around is the amount of different accents we got in such a small country. I'm like 20 mile down the road from here is deepest, darkest Suffolk. And the accent's different there. Go another 20 mile, you're in Hertfordshire and the accent's completely different. Cambridgeshire, different. By the time you start getting down to Dorset, Devon and Cornwall, well, might as well be a different language, or Cornish is a different language. It's all good and it's all fun. Just takes a bit of explaining sometimes to some people. No, the reason I don't sound like the Queen is because I'm not from that part of the country. My accent's always been weird. So there's Hertfordshire, Essex, South Wales, Norfolk, and a bit of Wolverhampton thrown in for good measure. So it's all over the place. Ooh. So we're a bit low on peeps today. Is there something going on stateside, or is someone else streaming at the same time? Multi-personage. Or I've just upset everyone again, and that wouldn't surprise me. I'm good at doing that. Ooh, what are we beeping about? What are we beepifying about? Oh, that's okay. That's just Mary getting home. Nearest shop is an hour's drive. Ooh, proper middle of nowhere. If I threw a tennis ball from here, I could hit Sainsbury's. So, yeah. Small town with all the bonuses of living in a town. But, yeah, in the middle of, yeah, not far from nowhere. So, I've been streaming for a while. Yeah, I did think Tommy was on earlier. I saw something. And Jess has just decided to. Mm-hmm. Oh, well. These things happen. It's a little village in the middle of nowhere. Always a good place to be. I mean, middle of nowhere. Yeah, I've lived there. Where we lived in Wales was a nightmare. It was, yeah, up on the side of the Black Mountain. So there was the nearest thing was like 45 minutes away, and that was just like the local village shop, which didn't exactly have much stock. So from there, I think the nearest actual town would have been Gavin or from there Swansea or Neath. Hello, Jeff. How you doing? Somerset got proper country accent. That's where the scrumpy cider come from. And there ain't no headache like a scrumpy headache. Doing good, good, good. Always good to hear, Jeff. Sorry I missed your stream. Work, stuff. You know how it is. Ooh, 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 yeah. Body's still getting used to the new tablets. All right, just the antihistamines, but the brand I used to take, they've stopped selling now, so I had to switch, and they're interesting. And to those not familiar, it's not beer, just a can of Red Bull. I need something to get me through because caffeine dependency, lucky. Yes, it's I would have said living in South Wales was lucky. Really not a fun place to live when you're like 10 years old. Well, I was even younger than that. 9, 10, something like that. Not good. It was literally nobody and nothing around for miles. So, cue lots of reading. Not when there's a power. Yeah, power cuts in the countryside are fun, but you get used to it and you cope with it. But then we generally don't in the UK get the bad power cuts. A couple of hours is normally the most it'll ever go out for. So I think it's any more than 24 hours and they start having to pay you, don't they? So, yes, Americans, when we get bad power cuts, our power companies pay us. Um, Same if there's a problem with the water. Um, if for some reason we've not got water available in our taps, they supply free bottled water. Oh, pardon me. Coffee, Mountain Dew, Coke, yes. Exactly. I mean, sometimes there is some blood in my caffeine stream, but not a lot. Oh, God, I'm going to have to buy some more backy again tomorrow. Never mind. Yeah, I can go out in the morning. Yes. Yeah, so you get to a point in life, you get to an age where you just don't want hangovers anymore. The fun part of being drunk and getting the hangover just isn't good enough to. Not here. We go without, and the power company pocket the overages. Yep. Um, it's one of the reasons why over here when we hear about Flint, Michigan, which is the main one we hear about, we're like, how the hell is that even happening? Why isn't that water company being fined up the hoo ha for not providing safe potable drinking water? They'd be getting fined millions. They wouldn't have a choice but to put it right. Yeah. That's say if it's lead in the water, geez. Yeah, they'd be getting fined millions, and the people at the top of the company would be in jail by now. Yeah, that's a jailable offence for not providing safe drinking water, and also they're not allowed to cut it off if you don't pay the bill. One of your companies in South Wales, you have my sympathies. Any dealing with the Welsh, you do have my sympathies. And any Welsh watching, you know I'm joking. Not like you're French. As I say, it's aside from the whole politicsy stuff and red versus blue, the right versus the far right, um, the fact that the church has stuff to do with state, which it shouldn't do, and all the other those kind of things, we just like, what? Then it gets down to things like basic human rights, and you're like, seriously? You're like the richest country the world has ever seen. You can't provide your citizens with fresh drinking water? I mean, they still haven't rebuilt since Hurricane Katrina. Jeez. I mean, like a week later, that had all been started being cleared and rebuilt over here. Cwmbran. Ah, yes. I know Cwmbran. And here's where I remember Cwmbran, yes. A long time ago, but I do remember it. Jeez, what would that be? Yeah, 3.5 decades ago, at least. Yeah, it's either the top 1% or the bottom 99%. Is pretty much how it seems to be, looking from the outside anyway. Um, there's not really so much here either anymore. It's either people who either work or people who are rich. So, I mean, I'm definitely working class. Always have been. Always will. I just do as little work as possible. Um, but that doesn't mean I have anything against the upper class. As long, you get people who are absolute dongs in every walk of life. Doesn't matter whether you're rich, poor, middle, indifferent, whatever. I know some really nice, richer people. I know some really nasty pieces of work who ain't got pot to pee in. Generally, it's. I think the gap is a bit narrower in the UK, mate. In the main, and obviously we do have slightly more. How can I put it? Social welfare. Catch me outside. How about that? What a surprise! Tom is out and about. Only time you're indoors is blooming sleep, I think, isn't it? I try to go outside as little as possible. Yes, I know I enjoy the countryside and wildlife and nature and exploring haunted churches and things like that, but generally I try and go itchy nose. If I do go outside, I like to go to outside places where people aren't. If I was to go, I mean, I've not been to Norwich since October last year, was it, when I went up there and filmed all those videos in one day? And damn near killed myself. Yeah. Well, Bruce has got a loaf in the oven, a meatloaf. Like a bat out of hell, I'll be gone in the morning sun. Oh God, don't sing Sharpe. It's not only copyright, especially from Mr. Loaf's music company, whichever one that is. Um, yes, I know his real name isn't Meat Loaf. Wasn't, sorry. Marvin Lee Today, I believe it was. It's not vegetarian, exactly. Oh, what? Yeah, if it was, it'd be a veggie loaf, wouldn't it? Or as I would call it, pleco food. Or maybe rabbit food. It depends. If it sinks, it's pleco food. If it floats, it's rabbit food. Each their own. I've got nothing against vegetarians or vegans. In the same way, I've got nothing against religious people. It's just that don't try and make everyone else do the same as you, is my viewpoint on it. Because there are some pretty serious arguments against all of these things. But there we go. So my general viewpoint is Bill and Ted. Be excellent to each other. That's pretty much enough. You don't need much more than that. That'll get you through life. Just be nice. Be polite. Treat others as you would wish to be treated yourself. And it's only when the people don't treat you like that, you let your dark side out, and then they regret it. You know, generally, the problems in the world are manufactured by the people in charge. General humanity, we don't want wars. We don't care about where a border is. We can go, oh, we're better because we live over here and you live over there. Ew. That's just made up by the people in charge. Let's look at, let's say, First World War, the Christmas truce. The officers and the people in charge didn't want that to happen. But the men on both sides who'd been fighting in the trenches just wanted to have a moment of solidarity with each other, basically. So they did. They came together. They sang songs. They played football. They buried their dead. Sabaton made a song about it. And then the very next day, they went back to trying to shoot each other or blow each other up. Yeah. Orders. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, Jeff. The resources of the planet don't belong to a handful of people. It's for everyone. If we all used our fair share, then everything will be hunky-dory and fine. It's because we're all using more than we should. Are you saying our dear leader, El Trumpenführer, is wrong when he says build the wall? Well, I mean, I'm all for building a wall around Donald Trump. One that's about 6 foot tall by 6 foot long and 6 foot wide, with a roof over it and no door. Date the vegan, but the ones never smell bad. Damn you, Tom. No, I've not dated a vegan at any point that I can recall. That would have been a very short date. No, I did actually. I did go on a date with one woman who didn't say anything about it at all during the various chats online until we met up and went for lunch. We went somewhere. I was like, it's all right, it's my shout. You order what you want. And she ordered whatever it was, and it didn't strike me that anything was off. And I ordered like burger and chips because, omnivore. Not a particular fan of veg at the best of times. So if I'm paying for it, and then she proceeded to go off on me about eating meat in front of her. So I enjoyed my burger, paid and left. That's hello, Rebecca. Don't worry about that. You know you don't have to worry about being here on time. It's not a university lecture. And being in a New Forest meeting donkeys, yeah, I'll let you off on that one. Because donkeys are cool. Donkeys are like horses' more cultured cousins. Horses are the Karens of the equine world. That's how it is. Donkeys are chill and cool, and you just walk up the donkey, get it fast, feed it some grass, it's perfectly happy and fine, no worries. Horses, they get scared by a plastic bag. Plus, let's be honest, crispy pancakes and lasagna haven't tasted the same since they took the horse out of them. Goats are jerks. Yeah, that's just goats, though, isn't it, Tom? Well, rabbits will do that as well. If you're not paying them enough attention, they'll headbutt you. Mix them together and you get mules, which are kind of in between. I say donkeys were meant to be there. That's a donkey's natural environment, whereas horses, well, they're not from this part of the world natively. So, you know, you got beat up by a meat goat. That's probably getting you back for all the blooming curries you've had. Come on, we've all had goat vindaloo. Yeah, heavy horses, your shires and your punches, they're chill, they're cool. I have no problems with those. They're still working horses. And yeah, Shetland ponies are just mini. Even if they do kick or bite you, it doesn't hurt that much. Well, not compared to a proper horse, anyway. And plus, ponies can moonwalk. We all saw the video, sorry, the advert with the moonwalking pony. I can't remember what the advert was for. I can remember the moonwalking pony. A town in Arizona called Oakman, and the wild donkeys have the right of way, as it should be. Wild animals should have right of way. They've been going that way for centuries, millennia. Just because us humans decide we want to go the same way, and well, I'm pretty sure they're not, but I mean, a lot of UK roads are based on animal tracks, so the routes that animals would have taken from point A to point B is, or when they were being driven to market, that's where our roads go. Let's get the light on. Well, it's not dark yet, it's getting there. Never been to a horse show. Been to a donkey show. Donkeys are far more cool. How do you, Dan? Sun comes out and everyone comes running for pond fish and plants. Yeah, about right. Oh, we can get the pond back and sorted again. As they've left it over winter and everything died. Because they probably got filters in their ponds, and as soon as it started getting cold, they probably turned the filters off. Wouldn't surprise me. No, we'll leave that one, Rebecca. If you've not seen Clerks 2, you won't know what kind of donkey show I'm pretty sure Sam's on about. Very busy weekend, only in Brett in the weekend, as usual. Of course. That's just the way it is. And we went that way instead this week, so didn't come up your way. Otherwise, I suspect you might have handed me a net. Possibly. If you've not seen Clerks or Clerks 2, you need to, Rebecca. They are two of the greatest pieces of cinematography ever. Manager doesn't work weekends anymore. Also, why does that not surprise me? There we go. Then probably comes in on Monday and complains about the mess. It's basically people who. The first one is based around the quick stop. You know, it's what we call a convenience store. The people who work there and their friends. And the second one, they've moved to a fast food store. No, don't work Mondays. Yeah, that's the general case, isn't it? You have an absolutely chaotic weekend, and you go back in Monday and the manager's complaining that things aren't, all the shelves aren't full and everything isn't clean and tidy. You didn't have a bloody chance. I'll come home to some lovely cyano in my reef tank. Oh joy. The joys of cyanobacteria. You know, only places I've ever had it were in shelly tanks. But then I'm guessing that's probably, there's nothing in there that'll eat it. I was thinking of taking Monday off, then I realised I put the CT scanner and need to be in for 8 a.m. Bugger. Yeah. Now I'm working Monday as well, so yeah. I've got a 7-hour shift. Annoying. Still only get the same breaks as I get in a 6-hour shift. It's got to do an extra hour. Yeah, Monday is tank maintenance day. Yeah, so tomorrow morning I'll be doing the water changes, filter cleans on these ones. And then Tuesday I'll do it on the rest of them. Then Wednesday I can chill. Only since cyano with deep substrates. No, I had it in. So I've got deep substrate in the shelly tank. But that's just standard sand. And then I also had it in the, when I had shelly fry growing out in one of these. That was it. Not had it elsewhere yet. But, you know, Molly's will munch it, and I've got snails everywhere, so even if they don't eat it, they disturb it enough. Only on the back wall and one rock. So it's not on the sand at the moment, so it's not too bad. That's a lot easier to clear out. It's when it gets in the sand and the substrate, you get stuck with it. I hate cyano. 20, or had cyano, the 29, covering the glass, everything. Put black mollies in there and cleaned it up within a month. Yep. Oh, so again, not mollies, linear, but there's not a spot of algae other than not a bit of green spot on the glass, which your plecos normally clear up. But yeah, I don't get any kind of hair algae or anything in there, unless it's literally growing right on top of the Vallisneria, in which case they can't get to it. But Tuesday, exactly. The day when you chew your food rather than swallow it whole. Tuesday. Yeah, I can't say it properly. Cut back on feeding. Should go. Fatten up my fish. And yeah, the little I know about salty tanks is, yes, excess nutrients do cause problems real fast. Rather than, you know, freshwater or tropical tanks where you just get a bit of algae and you get rid of it and job done usually. Hello, baby shellies. And still the only algae I get in there is diatom algae on the glass and the rocks. As I was saying, yeah, so also debating, do I run the outdoor tub again this year? Do I do my summer turbine happen so fast? Oh, sorry. And what do I summer tub this year? Because we did shrimp last year and that worked well. Now I was thinking possibly white clouds, but if I did white clouds and they bred, then I'd probably not be able to sell them or give them away. So I might get stuck with them. Only other thing I've seen, I only see them very rarely, is rainbow shiners. So if I spotted any of them, then I might go for some of those. Water change less feeding should be right. Close the curtain and shade it, as cyano is photosynthetic. Yes, it is. That will kill it. less light is less algae. And look, that little one down there, that was absolutely chock full of algae. Then I took all the bristle noses out of it and left the light turned off, and now there's no algae in it. Somehow there's still a bunch of snails in there though. White clouds, they're pricey here. Well, we're in Setford Garden Centre today, actually looking for plants, not fish. But obviously, if there's a fish section, you have to walk around it just to see. There might be something that jumps out at you, and you go, "Ooh, shiny, me need." And the white clouds were £1.49 each. It's on like 12 for 15 quid. Yes, I did dirt cheap over here. Something that's probably not financially viable to breed. Yeah, not surprising they're cheaper, but yeah, it's garden centre prices. And hello, Crystal. How are you? Yeah, so what other things would you put outside in a tub, as it were? British summers do get bloody warm, so there's that. It will have minimal filtration. It won't be getting water changes, and it probably won't be getting fed. So don't let that colour your judgment, though, because there'll be lots of algae. It'll be green water all the time. Hey, if cherry shrimp can survive in a tub that's got have no water changes apart from rain, no feeding, no filtration, and breed and reproduce and grow bigger and stronger, then there's no reason why fish can't. Chilling with beer, watching the Hobbit Battle of the Five Armies. Cool. Hello, hello. Who do we have here then? Is that an Adele person? Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. One of few people with considerably longer hair than me. Good to see you, Adele, my dearie. Hope all is wonderful with you. Enjoying your long break from work. Well deserved and needed, although going back is going to suck. So Mary's saying about she's just had the Easter holidays off 2 weeks, and she goes back tomorrow. So she's get up early, go to work, do all that, and she's been out of. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Yeah. Have a good one, Dan. Yeah, I'll be in at some point. There'll be either something I need or something I desperately need to get rid of. Where I'll go, yeah, store credit's fine, mate. Just chuck some food at me. Snow whites haven't grown much. Yeah, I doubt they will. They're going to be slow growers. Although, probably only going to be someone like me that's going to be willing to buy them anyway. So we'll leave them be for now. Yeah, going back is never fun. Yes, I mean, I've not really had too often the way you've had a few weeks off and had to go back, other than through injuries. But even then, I try and keep to the same, get up at the same time, go to bed at the same time sort of routines, so that when I do go back, it doesn't suck big time. But yeah, it's when you've had like me long periods out of work due to choice, and you're like, you get used to not having to go to work, not having to do anything. You get your chores done around the house whenever you feel like it, if you feel like it. If you get tired of sitting down, you have a nap whenever you like. And then you get a job and you can't. It's like, I've not been awake for this long for a year. That's been what sucked this week, because I had all sort of middle of the day kind of shifts. So too early to have a nap before you go to work and get home too late to have a nap afterwards, which means no naps, and that's not good. Sharpie needs naps. Although apparently some scientists are looking into it at the moment, or have been looking into it, and apparently a nap in the middle of the day is really good for you. The Spanish have been right all these years. Who'd have thought it? In their case, it is mainly to avoid the heat of the midday sun, but pardon me. Yeah, nothing wrong with having a nap. Exactly. Naps are king. Naps are epic. It's just it's that pick me up you need during the middle of the day. You can have some lunch, and you can stick something on YouTube and just lay down and wake up a bit later and go, what the hell am I watching now? Huh? That was a naval history or a paranormal or a ghost story. Why am I watching weird Japanese hentai? I don't, as a rule, watch hentai or manga or anime or anything. For some reason, YouTube rabbit holes always go there. Yeah, have a recharge. Exactly. A reset and a recharge. Yes. Especially if you. So I've done it before where not a nap, where I've actually fallen asleep in the evening while I've had YouTube playing on the TV and wake up in the morning and there's something completely random on. You're like, how the hell did it get there? What the heck set of tags and things tied together to get from A to B there? I've no idea. It'd be like going to sleep watching something intellectual and waking up to me. Last thing anyone actually wants is to be woken up. It's to wake up and see my face anyway. Just imagine how horrific that would be. Ugh. First thing you see when you open your eyes. Certainly wake you up quickly. There is that thing to think about. Jesus Christ. You think you're watching a video on Sasquatch. Yeah, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. So yes, anything else happened? The ghost at work has been letting people know that he doesn't like them. Yes. He's taken to throwing things at people while you never look in the mirror. I did once and it cracked, so I decided I better not do it again. Yeah, don't don't get a candle, stand in front of the mirror in a dark room and go, Sharpie, Sharpie, Sharpie. So I may appear behind you. Oh, not another bloody escaped pleplet. I took one out of there this week that was at least 2 inches long. Oh dear. There's one in that tank of superreds as well. It's about 3 inches long. I get a fleeting glimpse of every now and then, and when I go to catch it, I can't find the bloody thing. You'd think it would be quite difficult for a 3 inch long bristlenose to hide in a 6.5 gallon tank that's bare bottom. No, it disappears completely. So yeah, we'll have to get that out of there at some point and move it. We're going to have a de-snail again, I think, at some point as well, because we've got quite a few of those again. I don't think we'll be selling any more for a while. Because the last time I took them in, they had 100 of them. Yes, this weirdo actually sells snails to the fish shop. Oh, did I just hear thunder? Yeah, possible. How the Nanakara? Have another drink, Sam. The adults are absolutely fine. The eggs or fry or anything are nowhere to be seen, so they have been eaten. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Nanakara are perfectly happy and healthy and doing the usual things. Oh yeah, so it's the pink and blue ram's horns. They're the ones. If I could sell trumpet snails, I would be loaded. Absolutely loaded if I could sell trumpet snails, but how many people don't want them? Yeah, it's definitely getting hot and humid. So either it is just getting hot and humid, or no, that's not too warm. Nor that. So no, it's not one of the tanks that got a heater stuck on. So it must just be hot and humid outside. Maybe if I take my slippers and socks off, that might help. Ooh. Don't worry, you ain't gonna see my tootsies. I'm not going to show my hooves live on stream, as much as Yellow would like it. Our thousands started with exactly one. Yes. Barbara, my dear, how are you? Movies and Hordidoras Habrosus for quarantine tanks, so they're 20-gallon long. Back and forth lurking a bit. Sweet Corey's. If you're lurking for a mo. Everyone think of some questions. I've got to go and drain a vein. And if you know what that means, ugh, I feel sorry for you. Here we go, that's better. Oh, that's a load off. They're coming to get you, Barbara. Oh, the other wants to get drunk. No, 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 no. Cara. Anomalets. I just like this. I just like the way anomalous sounds. Which is why I'm either going to call them anomalets or just nomalets when I get baby. Along with criblets and plecklets, shrimplets, limbia barbara, that's what it is. And they're not be coming to get you, but they're coming to take me away. Ha ha, hee hee, ha hee hee, ha ha. Yeah, anomalets. Or anomalets. Yeah. Yeah, probably. So they're very pretty fish and super chill and laid back as well. They've definitely got the electric blue acara in them, which they haven't, but they've got that kind of same temperament. And I'm pretty sure they do eat the shrimp because I've not seen any babies in there for a while, but there's quite a few adult shrimp trundling about in there. Oh, and it's the funny farm where life is beautiful. Exactly. And the rooms are wonderfully comfortable and padded. So you can lean on the wall in comfort, you can just lay on the floor and it's comfortable. It's great. They give you some tablets that just make everything super happy. Oh, Milo is in the drink. And found Count Chocolate. Oh, Count Chocolate and Twinkies. Ooh. I say these are all things we can get over here, but I say like Tim Tams, we have penguins and club biscuits. Milo, we got our own different versions of, and Twinkies is just well, cheap cakes with a vanilla filling in, which everywhere sells. Cadbury's mini rolls is where it's really at. And admittedly, their serving suggestions are way off on the Cadbury's chocolate mini rolls. Because they get a box of 10 and they call it a family box. At most, that's 2 servings for one person. Or if it's me, that's 1 serving. Yeah, I have had Milo and I have had Twinkies and Count Chocula, and it's probably just my boring British taste buds, or the fact that everything virtually tastes the same to me most of the time anyway. And I was like, well, yeah, it's okay, but it's not really much different from insert thing that was about a quarter of the price. Milo does taste different to Ovaltine, more chocolatey and less malty. But have you done the one where you do half, it's basically a hot chocolate, but you do half Ovaltine, half chocolate? Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think we have got a thunderstorm coming in, which will be fun. Penguins are softer than Tim Tams. Exactly, you don't want to break your teeth on your biscuit. unless of course you have to do the Tim Tam slam, and penguins do tend to fall apart a lot quicker than Tim Tams do. But then we've also got a I don't know what you call it. It's not a dessert or a sweet. It's basically a fake confection. It's kind of like wafer with marshmallow in it. That is known as cream pies. Yeah, that's the only time I've ever eaten a cream pie. Weird thing is they don't taste salty either. Right. We have pork scratchings, so that's superior. Yeah, it's biscuits with soft filling covered in chocolate. Yes, chocoltine, chocolate version, chocolate version. And again, if you've not seen the Chuckle Brothers, you haven't lived. Rest in peace, one of them. Can't remember which one it was now. Yes. Anytime any adult British people are moving a piece of furniture or anything heavy, and it takes two people, it's always a to me, to you, to me, to you. Has to be done. Donuts and coffee. Can't go wrong with a donut. As long as it's not a stale donut. We have donut Wednesdays at work where the tradesmen can come in and along with their cup of coffee they can have a donut if they so choose. Most of them don't choose, which means there's lots of donuts left that need to be eaten. Muggins is good at finishing off. Pardon me. So if we're here, start at 7 Tim Tams and get penguins at another store, we get more Tim Tams for less than you do for penguins. There's probably a tax thing involved in that. Ever enjoyed the magic of a crumb donut? Doesn't ring a bell. Then you probably never enjoyed the magic of scraps from the chippy, which is all the little bits of batter that break off of the fish or whatever they're frying, and they just go into a bag, and you get a bag of scraps. Oh, it's just delicious, crispy batter and oil. What a combination! You almost feel the fats lining your arteries. Pivot, pivot, pivot. We're moving furniture up a staircase. Yeah, it's the best bit. It's just like the best bit of a Sunday roast dinner is that last couple of mouthfuls where you just got little bits of meat and little bits of potato and veg, and it's all just mixed in with the gravy. And they're they're the best mouthfuls. And I hate to think how long it's been since I've had a roast dinner. Cool, dear. 5 years, something like that, since I had a roast dinner. Yeah. Because I'm going out somewhere to eat, I don't have a roast style. I usually burger and chips or something like that. Don't tend to go for carveries very often or buffets. I generally look at the prices of things on the menu and go, I ain't paying that much for that. Yes, I'm tight. Hence why I don't eat out very often. Although I do treat myself once a week to chips from the chippy. Scraps from the chippy isn't an actual sentence. It is. Roast beef, Yorkshire puddings, mashed potatoes. Now I'm starving. Don't forget the gravy, the stuffing. Pigs in blankets, which is a completely different thing over here. It's chipolata sausages wrapped in bacon. Oh, sorry, cocktail weenies wrapped in bacon. Need to buy a slow cooker. Yes. So I mean, I don't bother with things like roasts or whatever because I'm only feeding one, and just all that hassle and time and whatever just for a meal that I'm going to devour in about 5 minutes flat. It just doesn't seem worth it to me. All the fixings, yes. Bit of cauliflower cheese goes well with a roast as well. Before you slate me for it, try it. And yes, cauliflower cheese is one time I will happily eat vegetables. Or celeriac cheese, or broccoli cheese. Basically anything with cheese is usually better. It's very hard to make something worse by adding cheese. Something savoury, that is. You'd probably be a bit disappointed if you bit into a donut and it had cheese in the middle of it. Yeah, so cauliflower cheese, it's got to be a good, thick, cheesy sauce on it. Not one of the ones where you go out somewhere and you have the cauliflower cheese, it's kind of got that sort of watery, grainy consistency to the sauce, which is like, that's not good. It should coat and stay on the cauliflower. Yeah, I mean, mascarpone cheese does work in desserts because obviously, cheesecake. Um, well, that's mascarpone mixed with icing sugar. Yes, you use icing sugar because then it doesn't get all gritty. Because you don't have to bake the cheesecake. Exactly. Cheese sauce should be like custard, as should gravy. Sauces should be thick and velvety and unctuous. It shouldn't be some watery thing that flops about on the bottom of the plate like they left dishwater on the plate. Need to stop talking about the amazing cheese-filled donuts. I've said it. Someone's going to try it. At some point. Jus cheese. Maybe jus de fromage. Or cheese salsa. Because let's be honest, all salsa means is sauce. So yeah, cheesy stuff can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with a hunk of cheddar. Is a good start if you're not used to cheese with a bit of strength in it. A nice vintage farmhouse cheddar. All crumbly. Hold my beer, Vegemite and cheese donut. Yeah, fondue, exactly. Cheese sauce should be basically like fondue. But that's something that's gone out of fashion as well. You don't get fondue very often anymore. It used to be people would have fondue parties and get the fondue machine out and everything would be wonderful. And then I think they realised they had to clean it afterwards. It's like those chocolate fountains that were all the rage, and then everyone realised how much of a pig it is to clean a chocolate fountain out. Now, a gravy fountain, oh yeah, that would be better. Just dip bits of bread in that. Ooh. Colby, yeah, Colby's not a bad cheese. So I do like my cheeses very strong, though. That's the thing. Um, so your strong cheddars, your Stiltons. Oh, I do like brie and camembert, which is weird because they're super mild. Blue cheeses are awesome. Parents had an avocado green fondue set in the 1960s. It was very hip. Yes. I relate to the cockatoo that took a bath in the fondue. Oh, jeez. Oh, oh. I'm not thinking about the fondue. I'm thinking about cleaning up the poor cockatoo after. Oh. Yeah, and Americans can't be trusted not to choke on a Kinder Surprise egg. Yes. I mean, I think that's just one of those laws that came in where you're not allowed to put non-food stuffs in food. Like, you used to get the little plastic toys in the cereal boxes. And unfortunately, they worded it in such a way that it included Kinder eggs in the in the law. Which, yeah, I mean, if the main reason you buy a Kinder egg is for the toy inside it, not for the minuscule amount of chocolate that you get. So if you bought a Kinder egg and managed to choke on the plastic yellow egg thing inside it, I'm going natural selection. We can get the eggs now. It might be different child-safe toys. Yeah, they have changed, I think. Some that come in plastic packaging now rather than just wrapped in foil, so they might be different. It's natural selection. Exactly. If you're dumb enough to choke on it, do we really need you? It's why I'm a big fan of the Darwin Awards. For people taking themselves out of the gene pool that we probably didn't really want in the gene pool. Like what's the one I heard of the other day? It's a young lad found some M80 firecrackers in his grandmother's closet, was playing light the fuse, put out the fuse, light the fuse, put out the fuse, and it wouldn't go out. So he, with some bizarre reason, decided to stick it between his thighs and cover it with his hands to deaden the sound. He won't be reproducing. Apparently, he lost an arm, a leg, and all his bits. Um, if you're not familiar, an M80 is a firecracker that has 2.5 ounces of black powder in it. And the military use them to simulate hand grenades going off. I think the last one in the UK was someone who decided it would be a good idea to steal the overhead cables from the railway, from the truck, overhead power cables. He decided it would be a good idea to steal those, and he thought the best way to do it was to get a pair of bolt cutters, stand on top of the metal train, wearing basically just a pair of Crocs or trainers, get the bolt cutters and do that. They found the bolt cutters hanging from the power cable, which is why they knew something was up. When they climbed up on the top, they found his feet. Dumb ways to die. Yes, if it's that bleak, maybe it's for the better. Exactly. I mean, I've got to hold my hand up and admit that's basically how I blew my foot up. With a homemade M80, basically. But yeah, I stood on it to try and put the fuse out. I figured that's the best way to get the oxygen away from it. If you stand on it, it won't have oxygen and it will go out, and it didn't. So that was dumb, but it wasn't sticking it between the legs. I heard about the kid that jumped the security fence on the roller coaster to get his hat. Got his hat. Lost his head though. Yeah. What was the other one I heard recently? Was a woman who adopted a cheetah, and hello red laser. Yeah, way to live, nutless. How are you today, sir? Yeah. Yeah, but there's a woman who adopted a cheetah at a zoo. As you do, basically just means you're paying a bit of money towards their upkeep. Fair enough. But she obviously thought that meant that she could then go and pet said cheetah. Obviously, the zookeeper said, no, you can't go in with the cheetahs. That would be a really silly thing to do. We can't let you do that. And she hid up when the zoo closed and decided she still wanted to go and pet this cheetah. So she climbed into the cheetah enclosure. And people were saying, oh no, we need to put down these animals now because they've killed a human. No, they haven't. They've not attacked and killed a human. They've attacked and killed a dumbass. Head punted off his body by a lady who broke her leg doing it on a roller coaster. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's just, I know I really shouldn't be taking the mickey because, you know, when a dumb injury gets known as doing a Sharpe, at least I've not managed to do anything quite that dumb. There's dumb and then there's spectacularly dumb. And admittedly with me, most of the time I realise it's likely going to hurt, but it's like it's going to be a level of pain I can deal with. So, yeah, only people I feel sorry for with that roller coaster one are the poor lady who was on the roller coaster and whoever had to pick up the bits. It's happened several times because we've got a level crossing in town for where the train comes through, and it also cuts through a road. It was one road, but when the train went through, they made two roads, and it's only a pedestrian access, so you can only walk across. You can't drive or anything like that. And every couple of years, there's someone who goes walking across and doesn't notice a train coming. And think, how the heck do you not see or hear a train? They're big, loud things. I mean, yes, you shouldn't cross train tracks or muck about near them. But if you do have to cross train track, put your hand, if you know it's not electrified rails. There's only two rails, you can do it. If there's three, don't touch the rails. Put your hand or your foot on the rail and feel for vibrations. And then look both ways. Yeah, we're safe. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's. I didn't put it between my thighs. I'm light years ahead of that guy. Yeah. Yes, they do sometimes do it on purpose, Barbara, I know, but in these cases, it's accidental. Um, because it's at a crossing. There's plenty of other places where they could go very locally, which wouldn't be a crossing. And it's not all fenced off either. Yeah, don't touch the third rail. Yeah, it's like don't pee on the electric fence. Definitely don't stand on one of the rails and pee on another one. That's going to hurt. That'll leave a mark. There's another one I saw the other day was someone decided he didn't want to hire a tree surgeon to cut down a tree in his back garden, an oak tree. So he got an industrial strength wood chipper, sat it at the bottom of the tree and turned it on, then climbed up the tree and started chopping the bits off and dropping them into the shredder, and then chopped the side of the branch next to the trunk of the tree. The side of the branch that he was sitting on. Red mulch. Seriously? How do you not realise that soaring through that part of the branch is going to mean you go down with it? Some of these people, it's like, really? How did you even get to the age where you can do that? But then, what's that channel called? Mechanical Nightmare. And some of the cars people are driving in the States, please bring in an MOT test, a yearly road safety check for all vehicles. Family Guy and I scared them away. Is it all that talking about Darwin Awards? And Scotty Boy is here with Alien World Hairsoft. Hello, good sir. How the devil art thou? It's like a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Yeah, I mean, I swear some of these people watched Wile E. Coyote and thought that was a good way to do it. And yes, we do pronounce it coyote here, not coyote, because there's no I in it or an E at the start. It's like, how do you get to there? It's just, how do you get to that point in life where you're able to make those kind of mistakes? But yeah, all about perspective. He missed the big picture. Yeah, I mean, I know someone who was painting the fascia boards on their house, ones just below the roof, the tiles, guttering, fascia boarding behind. And he just finished painting those. He took a step back to admire his work, completely forgetting he was on top of a ladder. Fod. Yeah. He survived. Broke his back and his legs, I think. But yeah. It's like, that's a, you find out about it and it's like you know you're supposed to give sympathy. Oh my god, you okay? But that part of you just takes over and you're like, you idiot. Yeah, how do you forget you're on a ladder? Yeah, they're not comfortable things to stand on. But yeah, he'd been up the ladder painting, and he'd been up and down the ladder because you've got to move it across every so often when you finish painting that bit and you can't reach any further. And yeah, step back to admire his work. It's like, oh, have I missed anything? Whoa, what? Bang. Yeah. Tom's a ladder monkey. Yeah. I say, if you spend a lot of time up and down ladders, you're used to it. So then I could kind of understand it kind of slip in your mind. But when you're not the kind of person who's up and down ladders all the time, that's a weird thing. Is I'm fine with heights. Heights don't bother me. I hate being on ladders. It's because I've got small feet. That's why. Um, so I had to move my legs in a really weird way to get my foot up onto the next step of the ladder because my feet aren't long enough to just hook through. If you are scared of heights, watch Fred Dibner laddering a chimney. Videos on YouTube. Brown trouser moment, yeah. Need a good idea for something cool to shoot and blow up with a BB gun. Killed so many sodas and balloons. Um, hmm. Terracotta pots. Yeah, they might crack. Uh, hydrogen balloons. Oh yeah, that plates. Oh yeah, those green plates that everyone has that used to be in the hospitals. So Barbara will probably remember those. Glassware. Something around the house. Um, small pots of paint or spray cans. I don't know whether a BB gun would pop a spray can or not. Um, oh, and another 235 squats for Yella. His butt is going to look great in his apple bottom jeans. Yeah, welcome to shoot. I'm guessing you're meaning the cats, Andrew. I don't condone shooting poor defenseless putty cats that just need a fuss and some treats and a cuddle and to do snoozy snuggles. Poor kitties. Well, it's not cats I've got pooping around mine at the moment. It's bloody hedgehogs. Where I park my bike around the side of the house, there's pile upon pile of hedgehog poop down there. Because the neighbours feed them, which is great because it means there's a bunch of hedgehogs around. They're all cute and lovely and awesome, but then they just sort of trundle around the side and they take a dump in the corner next to my bike. So, yeah, I have to be very careful not to stand in hedgehog poop or bush pig poop with the pigs. Yes. Yeah, they are super cute. I mean, some of them are pretty tame now. There's one that will let you stroke it. Obviously, front to back. You don't go back to front. Yes, they do still exist, Andrew. We've got lots and lots around here, despite all the cats being around. Even cats realise just leave the hedgehogs alone. It's not worth it. Um, there was one that nests underneath my shed. No, well, I'm surprised this time of the day she's not out. She's probably feeding out front over there. But you normally hear them snuffling about in the back garden at some point, and crunches of snail shells. Or this is why we don't have many slugs around here. Not only do I have lots of frogs in the pond, but I also have hedgehogs. Um, yes, I'll say there's not as many as there used to be, definitely, um, especially in built-up areas, bigger towns and cities, but in smaller places there's still plenty of them around. It's just being out and about at the right time of day to see them. It's like I've never seen a badger in the wild around here, but I know they're here because you see them semi-regularly dead on the A11 when they've been run over. Um, and I just realised we don't see Chewy anymore. Yeah, I was thinking that the other day, as I hadn't seen him around for a while. I think he started work again, so he might be busy. Cat poop in the bottom of the pond, and the pond is empty. Well, there's your problem. Fill the pond, and the cat won't poop in it anymore. So hedgehogs as pets. Yeah, lunatic fringe. That's the one. Chewy, as he was always used to be known. So those who have been around a fair while still call him Chewy. There are flavours of hedgehog that are sold here as pets. It's not the wild type and natives. It's is it African or Asian? It's a different flavour. Anyway, yes, is he okay or am I non-observant? So I've not seen or heard from him in a while. Yes, flavours of hedgehog, like different flavours of fish, and different flavours of dog. Although for those Brits old enough, so if Debs is still here, she might remember. There was a company in the UK that used to sell hedgehog flavoured crisps. Ah, yes, Andrew, got it. Yes, hedgehog flavoured crisps. So they were basically roast beef, weren't they? It was a good selling point, though. Uh, it was. I think Walkers might have done it for a short period, but there was a company in the 80s and 90s that they permanently had hedgehog flavoured crisps on sale. She had dental surgery in mid-February. Posted stuff. Assume it was pre-set for release. Vote for your favourite Walkers. Yeah, I think it was. Because Walkers do some very strange flavours lately. Yeah, he might have been Seabrooks. You're right, Andrew. Because Seabrooks crisps are some of the best crisps there are. Seabrooks, Brannigan's, and McCoy's, and then all others is pale imitations. Um, I can just remember the Millennium. I only just remember the Millennium too, but that's because I was probably high and drunk at the time. Um, I know I did something, but I can't remember what it was. There was probably fireworks involved or explosives. Certainly lots of alcohol and, yes, illicit substances. Didn't know well, it was all over the place all the time, then disappeared. Yeah, as I say, he had dental surgery, so hopefully he came out of that okay. And the Millennium on marched in the Rose Parade. Ooh. Yeah, I just got messy. I didn't actually work during the day and then just got messy at night. And then had to work the next day with a massive hangover. Um, with all the panic about I took Mr. Aquatic News. Yeah, I've not seen him for a while either. To be fair, I work other things. I've not been in too many streams lately, so I remember leaving the Millennium Dome. That or the penguins at the zoo are my first memory. Well, my first memory is probably from the 70s. So there we go. I hell, my first paranormal memory is 1981. Friends, yeah, so people do come and go fairly regularly. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. It's, I've definitely got T-shirts older than you, Rebecca. Well, worked for a bank. We had to test everything from millennium bug issues, even calculators, and then nothing happened, did it? I remember all that panic about the millennium bug and how everything was going to stop working, and then nothing happened. Now, that's the thing, Rebecca, is those of us who are old don't need any help feeling old. We just feel old anyway. Fish family. So Ella's young. He's only 37. Average age is over 60. I doubt it's that high, but it's definitely over 40. Yeah, there was a little baby too. Have I got any clothes older than 87? No, I've not got any t-shirts older. There's 60 tomorrow. Well, we know what that means. For tomorrow, happy birthday to Debs. Happy birthday to Debs. Happy birthday, dear Deborah. Happy birthday to you. Ian and Quirky are babies, yes. There we go. Now you can say some weirdo sung at you on the internet. Hey, I don't know, that might be cool with the kids. Someone sung to you on a live stream. Ages, it's a state of mind. And given the state my mind's in, I know it's welcome to the 7th decade. Oh no, it's the very last year of the 6th decade. Yes. I know what I should do. I should get some birthday cake candles so I can just light a candle and blow it out for people on their birthday. That'd be sad, wouldn't it? Hold on. Of all the random things to remember I had kicking about somewhere. There we go. We giving are we giving Deb a good paddling, are we? Fishman's great at uni. I feel old as all the other PhD students, like 23, 24. Well, it was that or a 4, and I thought as it's 60, I'll go for the 4. Go for the 6. No, I don't have black seance candles. I don't need to summon spirits. They just come to me naturally. The reason is because it was for my 46th birthday. And we never actually got around to putting the candles on the cake and lighting it. So they've been sat there a year. We were hungry. We ate the cake. Went to Avebury this weekend. Very touristy. Yes. There is a paranormal YouTube channel, Avebury Eddie. He is very Norfolk. Yes, he's definitely one of a kind. Or some generic neo-pagans say it's everything they ever wanted. One more ciggy and I smoked 60 in celebration of Deb's birthday. Yeah, it's one of those. It's a weird thing because, say, Sundays I spend my afternoon with Mary, so there's not much smoky going on. So my body goes, "You need nicotine." Yeah, it's like the same thing at work. Is like I'll be at work and I'll only have a cigarette a break and it'll be fine. And then I'll get home and I'll chain smoke for a couple of hours to get the levels back to where they should be. I'll say, yeah, furthest I've been this weekend is Thetford Garden Centre. It's one of those things where you can easily go without for a few hours at work, but as soon as you get off, you're like, next. I know I shouldn't. I know it's bad for me. I'll balance it out. I've got the back door open. I've got fresh air. What more do you want? Can't get addicted to smoking. No idea why. I just got bored. Yeah. Also, at this point with me, it's something to do with my hands more than anything else. And most of the other things that I might do with my hands while I'm just sat around not doing much, probably best not to talk about on the internet. Andrew's a good boy. He's never smoked. So I've been smoking since I was 13, 14, something like that. So I did give up. I know I can do it. It's not a problem. I just don't want to. And then I realised that the reason I gave up was because the woman I was dating at the time was violently anti-smoking. And then I was like, yeah, that's the wrong reason. I just went back to it. Mainly because she drove me to it, but you know. What does the game rooster say? Any cockadoo? Yes. Maybe 10, but sold the rest of the pack in the club for more than it was worth. Well, there you go. You had a few, you went, man, don't really like it, and sold it for a profit. See, I'd rather smoke than go to a club. I'm the guy that got kicked out of the club for listening to good music on his headphones. Yeah. And there was another one. I basically got dragged out kind of against my will. It was like, oh, let's just go. We'll just go out to the pub. We'll just have a couple of pints. Yeah, okay, fair enough. And then it was like, all right, let's go clubbing. Oh, God's sake, I don't want to go clubbing. It's like I need a lift home. And so we stood outside in the queue to get in the club. And the doorman goes, yeah, that'll be tenner, mate. And I'm like, what? You expect me to pay to listen to that crap? You should be paying me. And yeah, so I came home by a taxi. Thankfully, it was fairly early, so it was quite enjoyable. Don't do clubs because I can't dance. Yeah, I can't dance either, but most of the clubs I used to go to was more head banging. So you could just stand there and do, which anyone can do. Then after a couple of hours, you get a concussion. Boring old fart. I do pork pies. Exactly. Headbanger pubs are now more or less dead. Yes. This is one of these things I've been thinking about. Nanakada. So Yella needed another drink. Remember to do all the quite algorithm stuff that YouTube likes. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay notified of all new uploads. Yeah, I've got to figure something out to upload this week. Gora's doing nicely, hiding the plants. I'll sit there along with red Sharpe, tetras, rainbows, Chilitharina, Calibiru. Rainbows are juveniles, they're moving later. The algae rhythm is paranormal in itself with what it wants. Yes, it makes no sense. For some reason of late, I've been getting shown a lot of adverts for Aston Martins, Bentleys, Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis. Thinking, I don't even watch much, if any, car-related content, and if I do, it's like old bangers being repaired, not supercars. Well, yeah, Bentley is a good name. They do make some very nice cars and very nice ladies. Yeah, what are Bentley these days? Are they owned by BMW now, or are they still Tata? Can't remember. Or is it a VW? It's one of them. It's not an independent manufacturer anymore. Yeah, I can't remember which it is. And we're not going to start talking about the Bentley blower. That will get me in trouble. Only car I want is Bentley. The Continentals look like blocks of cheese. They do have very little styling, it has to be said. So, I was bounced for 10 years at a blues music club. Oh dear. I mean, I can't see blues people getting way too I can't see them getting too belligerent. But yes, I did read that first, Sam. I read it before you deleted it. Just can't see Jeff as a bouncer. No. Yeah, well, blues is where rock music came from, and classical is where heavy metal came from. And that is probably one reason why the headbanger bars are disappearing, is because metal is generally a rather complicated type of music, where the time signatures will change and the tempos will change, which means if you're just not paying any attention dancing, you're suddenly dancing well out of time with the music. And it seems a lot of people can't deal with that these days. They like their music to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just mellowed with the ears. Yes, we all do. We just get grumpier. As men, that's what we do. We just get grumpier the older we get. Start getting angry at silly things like drafts, squeaky door hinges. That door that's been squeaking for the last 10 years, but as soon as you turn 40, you have to put some oil on the hinges to stop it squeaking. Damn kids, get off my lawn. Even women start getting grumpy and negative with age. With age. If you think you're grumpy now, Rebecca, wait another 20 years. You'll know grumpy then. Donald will say, I'm very grumpy. It's just the way things are. The older we get, the more cynical and more grumpy we get. It's just how it is. There's nothing we can do about it. As we understand more and more about how the world works and how everything's trying to screw us over, we get grumpy. Do people dance to metal? Some people try, but generally it's more just either pogoing up and down or headbanging or just nodding along. or singing along, which can be quite amusing, especially if the PA stops working suddenly and everyone in the crowd is singing badly, or one person. I've had that happen. It's a male thing. Yes, exactly. It is a male thing to get grumpy. Rebecca doesn't do lawns. I don't either. I just have grass. You, you couldn't call it a lawn. A lawn is something that is well cared for and is just grass, has nothing actually any interest or value in it. It's just a way to look down on the neighbours because my lawn's better than your lawn. Yeah, and the lawn is more moss than grass. Yeah, it's actually useful. The moss does far more good than the bloody grass does. Anyway, my time is up. So thank you to everyone who stuck through, dealt with the weirdness and the randomness, and dancing is a vertical act of horizontal desire. Ooh, very deep, Jeff. And I don't mean that in that way. A lawn is a very unnatural thing. It is. And Tom will scalp it. That's the way. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Good to see you all here. Have a good weekend. What's left of it. Enjoy your week. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah.